good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all across the world. And today, this is your boy MossBurgh coming at you this evening, and we are coming at you with a Women's Sports Wednesday. First, I want to give a shout out to all the women, National Women Month out there doing whatever you're doing as a mother, athlete, just you women in general. We appreciate you. Also, want to shout out to my daughters, my moms, my sisters, my children's parents as well. Without the mothers, we wouldn't be able to do a lot. So happy National Women's Month to you all as well. And today's show is dibbling and dabbling into a little bit, and we'll be having people come in as well as the chat goes through, the show goes along, and post game will be on. One take may make an appearance, may make a cameo, as we call it. WTP Sports Dudes, we appreciate you allowing us to come do our thing live as we do respectively each and every day out of the week that we do. And my day is Wednesday. So I am here to talk to you about Women's Sports Wednesday. And we not going to hold you up, ladies and gentlemen, because we have another guest in the building, and that is Post Game of Post Game Sports. And you can check his channel out. How are you doing this evening, Post Game? And it's good to have you in the building.
My brother Moss. How you doing today, my man?
Man, feeling pretty good, man. Just happy to, be able to pay the respects to the women, of the world in our life, as well as just overall. This is their month. So, when we see them, smile, hello, nothing disrespectful. We got to better ourselves with that, and myself also included. How's your evening going?
Man, it's going well, man. But I'm excited to chop it up with you about the ladies, my man. Definitely respect, and as far as what the women's do in sports, definitely respect.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate everyone tuning in. Jonah Rodriguez, we appreciate you tuning in. Matt, I know my Bengals may be a little crap, but I'm an avid Bengals fan. I'm a diehard fan, and we are definitely going to have a season. And as well, WTP, he said, shout out to the women. Yes, agreed. And love after chaos, we appreciate you. And hello as well. But not to hold anyone up. And, I was doing a lot of research post game. I'm going to tip my hat off, pay my respects, as well as rest in heaven to one of the women who pioneered sports to be what they are today for athletes to get paid, Bernice Sandler. Paying my respects to you, a homage to what you've done, and you've been able to bring sports as far as on the women's side to what it is today. And is there anyone that you could think about post game that, you want to tip your hat to before we dibble and dabble right in to what we have brought everyone here today this evening when it comes to Women's Sports Wednesday?
Man, it's really so many, and it's hard to just pick one. But I'm gonna continue my talk, bro. You know where I'm going with this.
Sir, yes, sir.
Because I've been talking that talk about her for a long time, and I would just like to give a shout out to the great Hannah Hidalgo, point guard for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I appreciate you. I see you. I understand what she brings to the basketball game. Her size, her speed, her size, her speed and quickness, unbelievable. The way she affects the game on the defensive end as well as the offensive end, unbelievable. I love watching her game, and she's definitely one of the more dominant women's basketball players I've seen.
I can't disagree with you, man. She's definitely something. And when we got off from our stream last night, I checked out a couple clips, and she's just doing what she do in an amazing way. And it made me think of that 2018 championship run that Notre Dame had, knocking down Goliaths in that feat. And you just don't know. they look like a team that could make that type of run as well. It's March Madness. We don't know. It's many things that could happen, but we're not going to cut them to the chase. We here this evening, and one of the first things, and it's a great thing that we are talking, is that all-time women's starting five basketball team. Post game, we are here, and it is official. It's been a lot of chitter chatter, and I think the ladies don't get enough credit when it comes to what they do when you put the basketball in their hand, the work that they put in to become these Hall of Fame players, these players we sit back, we ooh and ah about, but some people don't even know who they are. So where do you want to start? You want to start at the point guard position. You want to start at the center position. And we're going to try to keep it position basketball, not positionless. We could throw a couple out there to make it positionless after we get our five, but we could definitely start with our point guard. Where do you want to go first? Coming at you post game.
So my all-time point guard was it a 5-woman roster?
Five
All-time
women
starting
roster.
five.
If you're in the comments, please let us know your all-time women starting five as well. We're going to start with the point guard and go all the way down, shooting guard, etc. Please let us know your thoughts, and we only getting started. Trust and believe.
Oh man, that is tough. Point guard, I'm going to go with Cynthia Cooper was a two, right?
Yeah, she was. It was like she was a point and a two. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I could give you a point guard. I could give you point guard if you want Cynthia at the one. It was an
No, no, no,
arguable
no,
point.
no, no, no. I mean, I can put her at the two, but at the one, I'm going to go with Diana Taurasi.
Mm, I like that. I like that. I like that pick. This was the point guard was kind of tough for me because when you think of point guard on the women's side, it was really a lot, but I think a couple of them stood out. Really, the way they passed the ball, got the offense going. I wanted to start with one and Lisa, but I'm gonna come and I'm gonna take Sue Bird, Tarasi's counterpart at UConn. I'm gonna go Sue Bird. I was gonna go Lisa Pinachero, which is, I think, either way, I think you can't go wrong. But I'm gonna go Sue Bird at my one. And when we say position, it's tough because we'll get to that after we continue and end off our center. I'm gonna go with Sue Bird as my one. At your two guard, who you taking at the two?
Oh, now that is a lot easier for me to pick. I'm going with Cynthia Cooper, one of the greatest basketball players on the ladies' side in history, multiple time champion, two-time MVP, four times final MVP, one of the greatest scorers ever, one of the best players ever. I can't put anybody at the two spot but Cynthia Cooper.
WTP Sports Dudes has Don Staley. And I wanted like some names I know we all probably the possibility of mashing up and having the same would be possible. Don Staley was right there with my picks as well, and I'm glad I picked Don Staley because she's definitely one, and she was holding it down and coaching at the same time. So that's not an easy task to take on for Don Staley, as she excelled in that. I'm taking Cheryl Swoops for my two guard. They called her Baby Jordan. I mean, I remember watching Cynthia Cooper Texas Tech games. I remember watching them when they played Ohio State. I remember so many games of watching Cheryl Swoops. She was my MJ. I'm going with Cheryl Swoops at the two. What's your thoughts on the three position? Now, this is tough. This
I
is
was
probably
gonna
tough.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Cheryl Swoops at the three since she was a guard forward. But since you took Swoops, I'm gonna go with Maya Moore at the three.
Ooh, I like that matchup. Ugh. Maya Moore versus my three and CP Candace Parker. When you talk about this position, I really wanted to put another great, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that because they both played at Tennessee. Oh my, all three of them played at Tennessee. But I'm gonna go Candace Parker at the three. I just think the way she moves, she could play pretty much any position on the floor. But I'm gonna put Candace Parker at my three position. What's your thoughts on your power forward? I think this is where it get really good.
Yeah, I was gonna put Lisa at the, or I was gonna put Candace at my four. But
Ooh,
since you went Candace at the three, I'm gonna go with Nanike Agumake,
ooh, ooh.
four from the Los Angeles Sparks. She's a champion. She was a rookie of the year. Just a dominant defensive player, and I like to balance my teams with offense and defense. So I'm going to Gumake.
I like that. Get Jinxed I2F. My favorite song right now is No Flex, No Faith. Been a great, coming into the year. So that's one of the songs that I listen to a lot right now. But outside of that, we talking women's sports Wednesday. So if you're not tuned in, you got to get tuned in. And WTP, he said swoops at the two. Yes. And I have swoops as well. Cheryl was my baby Jordan, Miss Jordan. People just oohs and ahs about her game, man. And Abuma Gay, we know what she do, but on the defensive side that she has that great defense, she got to deal with Cheryl Miller at the four on my end. I'm coming with Cheryl Miller at the four position all time. Cheryl Miller is my four position in this all time five. And last but not least, we got Doug in the building. He said Cooper is the best. Swoops was one of the originals with Miller. And he said he has, WTP said he has Cheryl Miller at the three. Mm.
See, man, y'all cheating.
That's what I'm saying. He
Y'all
getting
cheating,
these off.
man.
If Unc didn't put us together, he would get it off. But I put Cheryl Miller at the four because I thought that she played the four. I didn't get to see too much of Cheryl Miller, but I thought she was playing the four. But if she was playing a five, I got one for you at that four. Unc, get out my notebook, Unc. Get out my notebook, Unc. Because I was about to say at the four position, if we going that way, I'm gonna respect you post game. And I was going Shamiqua Holsclaw, another volunteer from Tennessee, at the four position because I don't know. I just think what what she did in college brought to the NBA, man, just and what she's doing today, special. At the five position, who do you have at your five?
No, y'all cheating because Miller didn't play in the WNBA. I thought we were only doing WNBA players.
I don't know, man. All time, I just can't not say all time and not have Cheryl Miller in here post game. That's the salt in the wound. That's the hard question that Unc gave us last night. I just put into the chat as far as in all time women's team, all time starting five women's team. It don't have NBA. It don't have WNBA. It says who's your all time starting five post. Talk to me. Give me one post. Who's your center?
The center, I'm going Lisa Leslie for sure, bro. I mean, think about it. She was with the Sparks when Shaq was with the Lakers, so it kind of meant like the LA teams had centers. You know what I mean? And Lisa Leslie dominated for a long time. I love her game. And she's just a fierce competitor. So I got to go Lisa Leslie at the center position.
I agree. Since you went with Lisa Leslie, Unc just stays like right there into my notebook. I had Lisa Leslie, and if I know you, like I kind of, getting to know you more and more, I figured you would probably have Lisa Leslie, and I actually had Tina Thompson next to Lisa Leslie as my five position. I just think what Tina Thompson, she really brought the stretch big to the WNBA, even in college when she was playing at USC to a whole different level. Skill, she could put it on the floor, post up, like that was like the women's Carmelo Anthony. If you really watch her when she got that ball in the post, it was like how you could watch Melo on the men's side in the NBA. But dang, man, those are some great fives. I like the way our fives look, and it's something because when you speak of some of these names, Hosklaw, Candace Parker, Swoops, Cheryl Miller, Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, Boomer say the name again.
Agumake.
Gumbake. I mean, it just shows how great basketball is on the women's side, where it started and where it's at, and the direction that it's going into, as well as saying that name Maya Moore. We know what she's done for basketball from being at UConn, coming to the NBA, getting titles. She's just been a winner all her life. And the next question I had on the slate for us this evening, women's sports dynasty. When you think of women's sports and you think of the word dynasty right next to it, what are some of the teams, or who is your women's dynasty?
Well, it's pretty easy for me, Moss. My woman's dynasty would be the Houston Comets from 97 to 2000. They've done something that hasn't been repeated since they did it, which was win four WNBA championships in a row. So I mean, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper. We know all the great and fabulous players that this team had, as well as Tina Thompson. Um, when I was a fifth grader and they first announced that there would be a WNBA league, I was ecstatic, man, because being a guy, a kid that age that couldn't get enough of basketball, I'm like, oh, so now when the NBA over, I get to watch the WNBA. And I still remember the commercials, and all I can remember from that time period is Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, and those ladies dominating the WNBA like never before. So definitely my dynasty would be the Houston Comets. And if they expand the league, they need to bring that team back.
Man, it's when you think of women's dynasties, I mean, that Houston Comets team was special, still to this day. And I don't I don't think there's going to be a wrong answer when you talk about women's dynasty, because each team that you think about when you think of a dynasty, they have their own claw of how they scratched the surface of that sport, whether it was a few years after a team won or within that time frame of other greats being available. Man, this was a tough one for me post game. I'm a Tennessee Volunteer fan, and I don't want to seem biased, but it was a tough pick. You know, UConn, or it was a rivalry. I'm gonna take it back in time and go to Shamiqua Holdsclaw. Her 2 years, when that '97 they won them back to backs in Tennessee. I don't know what it was about how she did that, along with that UConn Breonna Stewart. that team, those teams, I think for me, I watched I watched how, they fought through so much adversity. They was a team to be knocked down. I'm sorry, real quick. Let me get to this. Hello, Miss Kelly Happel. We appreciate you tuning in. Miss Kelly Happel, 6398. And we going to say happy birthday post game to Miss Kelly Happel. She said it's her birthday. We appreciate you and what you do as a great woman in this world. And happy birthday, if you don't mind hitting her with one post game. But for me,
Kelly
that's what I'm
Happel.
doing.
Yeah, Kelly Happel, good happy birthday. And we appreciate you tuning in. We hope you have a great one.
Definitely, definitely. So, those were mine for me. I definitely agree with that Houston Comets team. I'm just trying to make sure that we not all hitting on the same team. But I definitely that was special basketball. Watching how the ladies not just played together. That basketball had just came about, and for Cheryl Swoop, Cynthia Cooper to be so great, along with Tina Thompson, for them to all play together. And they talk about the I forget how you call it now, teaming up and all that. This was a team back then. People just have to go watch it. So Doug also had the Houston Comets. He said UConn basketball, and Oklahoma softball. Man, I'm glad you mentioned softball as well, Doug. Yes, that Oklahoma team was dangerous. If you could type in the comments a little more about that as well, if you could. Anything that you got to say about anything when we talking about women's sports posts before we go into that next question?
Man, just the names that we've been naming out. Like I heard Shamika Holesclaw, Tina Thompson, Cheryl Swoop, Cynthia Cooper. These were all ladies that could ball. Like, and I know there's many more that we can name off, but man, I mean, just shout out to the ladies, man.
Agree, man. Agree. Totally agree. And coming up, the next question: what women's sports interest you most and want to learn more about? Is there one that, of course, I'm interested in the basketball, but one that you might want to learn about a little more than you already have some knowledge on, or may not have any knowledge at all? Any of those for you?
And I would have to say I love women's basketball. I love women's boxing. If there's a sport I wanted to get into, would probably be volleyball, and that's only because one of my daughters has interest in volleyball, so I probably should learn a little bit more about it. But for sure, I'm definitely huge on basketball, college and professional, and also boxing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree. Man, basketball, of course, is something that you say your daughter's getting interested. My daughter's going to be starting to, as I think I mentioned before about, she's going to be going into her first sport outside of when she did Girls on a Run, which was track when she was in elementary. She's taking on volleyball, man. That's a sport that I definitely want to, learn more about outside of how much I watch it, as well as women's bowling and it's women's cricket. Some I was looking up a lot of things, man, in this last 48-hour period, and there's so many sports out there. But those are two that I definitely want to look a little more into, be a part of, see live, as well as women's soccer. I watch some of it on TV, but I would love to see it live. And we do have the She Believes Cup that's going on here, right in our own city in Seabus. They have Colombia, I think Argentina, um, what other team? Of course, the USA team is here, and it's Canada is here as well. So quite diversity going on here in the hometown. So for me, those are the ones that interest me, and I just want to learn a little more about and get into some more as well. one that this next one I had put up because I wasn't for sure if we've, looked into it or anyone has thought about it, talked about it, but I've been into it a little more right now at the high school level, having a friend whose daughter wrestled, and a friend of ours who passed away, rest in peace, Cat, his daughter wrestled. And, it's given me that interest to watch it a lot more. What's your thoughts on women's wrestling?
uh, I mean, I didn't even know women wrestled, bro. To be honest with you,
Got
I
some
had
history
no
for
clue.
you.
But I mean, I I would like to hear your thoughts because I that never even crossed my mind to be honest with you.
Nah, it's crazy that the thing about it is it's very popular. Women's wrestling is so popular and it's gaining popularity when I say by the match. I would say because by the match, by the tournament, it just became it went from a sport to a actual championship to where they can have championships, and they're starting here in about a week and a half or so, and they call it Wrestle Town over in Iowa, Coralville, and it's they'll be having those events at the Extreme Arena, and then it starts then and it goes, all throughout different parts of the states. So it'll be something that I'll definitely have to get into more and look at on that broadband of it outside of the high school to see, you know, what a year's difference make because it went from just being a sport to now actually being able to have championships. And I think it's going to be how soccer is. Some call it football. How popular that is in other countries. I think wrestling is going to be that next big sport, and then I have things going on and big events here in our own hometown city as well. For me, post game, I was aiming and jabbing at so many different things when it comes to Women's Sports Wednesday. Do you know women are quite the elite bowlers?
I had no clue.
It was the one thing I'm happy that I chose this for, so I could actually broaden my own horizons when it comes to women's sports, which is something that I know we take on the basketball, the normal sports, even the Olympics, even in the soccer world, but don't realize how many women's sports are really out there. Women's bowling is very, very good, very elite, and the USA actually holds number two, three, four, 6, and 10 out of the world. They hold 5 of the 10 top bowlers in the world is from the USA. So, that just goes to show that it's a very skilled sport. Women can bowl just as we can play basketball. Women can ball like we play football. Just using some metaphors, but women can play sports. In other words, as us men play sports as well, then I think we got to respect that equalness also. As we talking a little bit about it, anything you got to say about any of the women that we've spoke on, any women that you want to talk about, give them their flowers post game.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I mean, I'm not much of a bowling fan, but the fact that women are elite like that, that's super dope.
Yes, indeed. Yes. For me, I'll be politicking with the history a little bit. And I'm not saying politicking as in politics. That's just our way of how we talk and discuss things. I was on my research. The first D1 FB, football team, Sarah Fuller, back in 2020. I came across one of the five athletic directors, Candace Story Lee, out of Vanderbilt, one of the first women, I believe, in the SEC to be in that position. But, also one that I came from, and I watch a lot of documentaries, was Lucia Harris. rest in heaven. Delta State, three-time national champion. She got the first ever women's bucket in Olympic basketball. And, you know, for me, when you look at some of the history that these women provide when it comes to sports, I think it's not just a great thing. I think it speaks volumes of how strong our women are. In general, we may not know that. We always think we're the strongest thing, but these women are very strong as well. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think you're definitely correct, man. I mean, that's great history to know, like, because I had no clue who that was until you broke it down. But I agree with you, man. Women are just as strong, especially in this here sports world.
Now, I think I know the answer to this question. As we know by the lady that dribbled that ball down there in South Bend, where you from, Post? Who's your who in women's sports? We know how you talk about Hannah Hidalgo. Is there some athlete that you would like to discuss with the people, talk to the people, one that you may have looked at over the few years that you said, man, she's going to be something special, you know, in the years to come? What's your thoughts on that?
Man, so many, Moss, so many. Absolutely, Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame is one of them. Layla Ali in boxing, definitely. Clarissa Shields currently, Alicia Baumgardner currently, Amanda Serrano, all these ladies in boxing. I love to watch. They're great fighters in their own right. So respect to the lady boxers of today. Um, we talked about some of the legends, man. Shamika Holtzclaw, Cheryl Swoop, Cynthia Cooper, all these ladies. I enjoy watching compete in what they do, whether that be boxing or basketball.
We got a question coming in. I'm going to get to that question right after it because that's a great question. I didn't put it in the chat, but I was thinking of that as well. Great question, WTP. For me,
I'm
who say it again? Go
I'm
ahead.
I'm so sorry. Like, how could I forget? And when Rob put that in the comments, it just hit me. How I didn't even mention this is blasphemous. I didn't even mention Serena Williams, the greatest female athlete of all time. I don't care what nobody say. She got like 500 like grand slams or something crazy like that.
Crazy work, bro. Crazy
Multiple
work.
Olympic gold medals. Serena Williams is hands down the greatest female athlete of all time. It might just be the greatest athlete of all time, period. So shout out to Serena Williams.
Serena, man. Shout out to Serena. And man, whew, you just made me feel like I had a little tennis racket in my hand. But for my who's your who in women's sports? I've been watching this young lady. We all know she has a dad who grabbed more rebounds than anybody could think about. Trinity Rodman is my who's who in women's sports. When you talking about a player, a creating your own legacy, she's done that. Second pick out of the women for the Washington Spirit in 2021 for the National Women's Soccer League. Not only at 18 was she the youngest ever to score in a debut, but she took them to third in the regular season, securing the first league title, Rookie of the Year, Soccer Young Female Player of the Year, the trend spin. Nobody even know what that move is. You talking about Allen Iverson's crossover post game? Tap in for a trend spin. Might have to go look it up. It's diabolical of a move. It'll put you in the blender. I'm going Trinity Rodman as my who's who. I think, following in the footsteps of knowing who your dad is and being an athlete, I think she has not just created her own legacy, but she's just a special athlete, special person, lady herself. So it was Trinity Rodman for me. And next was Sha'Carri Richardson and how she's been blazing the track field ever since, getting back right, going through all of those different things that she went through during that time to come back out and just get out there and run like a gazelle. So for me, Trinity Rodman, Sha'Carri Richardson, keep doing you. It's young ladies out there that love what you do, watch you on a daily basis. Go be great as you already are. And that question, post game, do y'all have a Mount Rushmore of women athletes, WTP for life? I asked us this question. What's
Yeah,
your thought, post?
man, that is tough. I'm going to say Serena Williams. I'm going to say Cheryl Miller. I'm going to say, oh man, that is tough, man. Because I don't want to go so basketball and boxing heavy, but in my case, I probably have to. I'm gonna say Serena Williams. I'm going to say Cheryl Miller. I'm going to say Cynthia Cooper, and I'm going to say Layla Ali.
Man, like, wow, wow. That's Unc B. He be putting the pressure on us. He puts the pressure on us. This was a question I was actually gonna ask, but I thought, it would be a good one with the all-time five. But I'm gonna go Cheryl Swoops, going Candace Parker. I'm going Layla Ali. I don't know. I gotta go on the cold side with this one, man. I gotta go on the cold side with this one. I'm going Bonnie Blair, man. I watched her for years when I was younger. I'm putting Bonnie Blair up there, man. I don't. You just post game. All I can say is go watch it, and you will see why I'm putting her on this Mount Rushmore. You'll have to go watch what she did them Olympic years consecutively. I'm putting Bonnie Blair on my Mount Rushmore, along with Layla Ali, Candace Parker, Cheryl Swoops. Man, it's like
Bro,
women, man. You might have to stretch this out to six, man.
bro, how you gonna leave Serena Williams off your Mount Rushmore, bro? That's crazy
I'm
work,
basketball savvy. I'm trying to be different. That's what I'm saying. We might have to go 5 or 6 with this women.
bro. That is crazy work.
See, look at
Look at
these. Look at these names. Look at these names. Unks. These are other names that like I think about, and I'm sorry for not
Becky
even
Jordan,
mentioning this
Kirsty
one.
Gerald, and Ledecky.
Ledecky, Katie Ledecky. She is. I mean,
Bro, not having Serena Williams on your Mount
can we
Rushmore
can
is
we can we
crazy
make
work.
it 6? Can we make it 6?
You gotta be 4, bro.
I gotta. Serena Williams. I'm putting on there. Taking this is taking Bonnie Blair off. I mean, I love speed skating. Like I love watching it. It's when you say a memory that's literally stuck with me since my childhood. Post seeing her come around like this on the edge, and her hand is literally at the blade of that skate. I can still remember that. That's the type of greatness she has. Serena Williams, Layla Ali, Candace Parker, Cheryl Swoops. I'm sorry. I knew Unc was gonna have something with similarities of I figured with that running. So I'm gonna go with mine. I think Katie Ledecky, masterclass swimmer. I watched her each year. She did what she did and winning those goals, especially that 4x4 where she put on some of no other. Um, wow, wow. We post game. Do you realize how many women we've talked about, and we haven't even talked about as many as there really is? That's great, like in this sports world.
Yeah, man. I mean, shout out to the ladies, man. They
Man,
they
shout
do
out
the
to
they do the thing when it comes to these here athletics,
the
man.
shout out to the ladies of sports, man. Shout out to the women. Like you really have me. I don't. I'm sorry if you see me out and about. Don't fuss me out about anything. This is starting to seem like it's tougher than the men's side to decide who's who when it comes to greatest Mount Rushmore, the whole no. Like this is insane. Um, wow. The next that was tough. The next question I didn't put on the chart. Well, no, I did put it on there. I got the greatest women's coach all time. Greatest.
Yeah, that is a great question, man. I mean, I think I can only go to one place because I don't want to say Gino because we're talking women. So I'm gonna leave Gino out of contention for this, and I'm going to go Pat Summit, the coach of the Tennessee, the Lady Vols. Rest her soul. Um, 8 national championships, over 1,000 career wins. If I'm picking a woman, if you ask me who's the greatest woman coach of all time, I'm going Pat Summit, man. Rest her soul.
I agree. I was going the same way. Pat Summit. She's we know what coaches is coached, but what Pat Summit displayed. She was one of those that go in your home, sit with your families at a barbecue to recruit you as a player to come in and play for her. So, just some of the things. She was a trailblazer. Like you said, the 8 national championships, over 1,000 wins, countless nights that she's just up, making sure things are the Tennessee way and volunteering to be herself. So rest in heaven, and we appreciate the time that you graced us here on this earth with your excellence, your purity, your compassion, um, and trailblazing everything that you touch, everyone that you coach. We could go on and on, but we appreciate you, everything you did. Um, any other women out there that you can think about real quick before I get to that? I gotta pick a bone with you, Coach. Have you ever does wickets ring a bell? Do the word wickets ring a bell?
No, sir.
Now, this is the funny thing. Like for me, like I look at a lot of things and how I guess in the in a retrospect, how people see things in the world, they might see things. Some things may be funny, some things may not be. And to me, Australia is known for the big debacle. Of course, that's what people say. People laughed about that. At a point, I thought it was the thing that shouldn't be laughed about. When it comes to the word wickets, that's Australia. And this form of bowling, cricket, something of that nature. And they hold some of the top players in the sport, in the world. So when you want to laugh at the breakdancing, they just sitting out there getting wickets, and that's what it's called. That they do is when they, I guess they whack the ball. It's called wickets, and you could do that at a high percentage. And it's just something that I wanted to bring out there. And the Australians is pretty good in that. And Alana King, she overtook being the number one player, and it was held by Sophie Eslestone for 3 years straight. She took over the top spot in that. And I think that's, a big feat when it comes to just when you playing a sport and you trying to, get better and you overcome obstacle and overtaking a ranking over someone, especially when they've held it so long. So I just thought about, bringing that up and just a thought just to have out there. Anything that you could think about when we talk about this women, that the March Madness
Yeah,
coming up and approaching, anything?
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna run down some conferences, man. Since we got conference tournament basketball heading on, I'm gonna run through some conferences, and I want to tell you who's going. I want you to tell me who's going to win the conference. You cool with that?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, the Big Ten, man. For the ladies, you got UCLA, you got Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State. Who's going to win the Big Ten championship?
Ooh, Michigan dangerous. We know what Ohio State is doing, and we know what UCLA can do. I think it comes down to Ohio State and UCLA. Man, I go UCLA to win the Big Ten.
Okay, that's a good choice. Who do you think gives them their toughest matchup out of Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State?
I think the way Ohio State play, Ohio State has speed. They tenacious. Um, we know what Jelani Cambridge could do, man. She's a bucket getter. She's National Player of the Year up for that candidate as well, I'm sure. So we gotta. I say Ohio State. I just think they really that good. They've been coming on strong. I believe they're on a big game win streak, and they just cracked the top 10 just this past week. So I think that Ohio State team is dangerous.
Yeah, I like that Ohio State team. We both can agree that UConn is likely going to run through the Big East, correct?
Who's in their way? Turnovers and an imperfect game.
Yeah, I mean Villanova is okay, but I don't think they got anything.
Just
You for
real quick, yeah, real quick on that. I watched them in the March Madness last year post game. The first game, they was up 48-11 in the first half. UConn wins the Big East by a landslide.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get much pushback, man. Let's go
Yeah,
to the Big 12. You got TCU, West Virginia, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. Who's going to win that tournament on the ladies' side?
man, I think it. I really haven't seen too many, too much of the Big 12. I would say, but I've seen enough of TCU. I've seen enough of Iowa State, and I've seen enough of that Baylor team. I like Baylor and TCU to bang it out. I think this TCU squad can get it. I think they could win it, but Baylor is very tough, man. Um, I'm gonna go TCU. I'm gonna go TCU.
Yeah, TCU got the best pure point guard in women's sports to me.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna win the Big 12, but I wouldn't sleep on West Virginia. I think West V can definitely do some upsetting, but if I gotta pick a winner in the Big 12 on the ladies' side, it is definitely TCU.
And it's in a way TCU been playing like they had a shot last year. The portal was friendly to them. They got Olivia Miles, so I think having that experience come over from a team that was very experienced, very good. I think that hunger that TCU got. I don't think they're gonna let this Big 12 title slip away. I think they know what's at stake. I think they're trying to get that great position to push themselves for a better seed in the tournament as well.
How about the ACC, man? Duke, Louisville, North Carolina, NC State, Notre Dame, maybe a Syracuse. Who's gonna win the ACC?
And since you my guy post game, you my guy post game, you my guy post game. I'm coming to South Bend to Bend Air with you and Hannah. We used to say a little something called Hidag, a go. And then Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick them. They peaking at the right time. I think they peaking at the right time. I think Hannah Hidalgo is a difference maker on both ends. I like the way Anaya Moore is shooting. I like the way Day Jesus is shooting. If they can knock down 3-pointers, I think this Notre Dame team is not only dangerous in the ACC, but they're going to be dangerous come that March Madness tournament.
I agree. Totally agree.
How about the SEC, Moss? This is probably the toughest conference to predict. South Carolina, Texas, Vanderbilt, LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia. Who do you think is going to take the SEC tournament?
This is tough, man. This is tough. I watched LSU and Texas earlier this year. I watched South Carolina, LSU. I watched South Carolina, Texas. I watched so much SEC basketball. But you know, since she came on scene, biggest thing in Texas, and then slimmed down and looking like a for sure top 5 pick. I'm looking for Texas and Maddie Book to get big, stretch out, and try to get them a number one, not overall seed, but a for sure secure number 1 seed with an SEC championship trophy this year.
Okay, you like Madison Booker. I love Madison Booker as well. However, Moss, I can't go against South Carolina right now. It seems like they playing their best basketball. They won 10 in a row, 29 and 2, 15 and 1 in the conference. I can't go against South Carolina. And really, man, it's to me, this is the most interesting conference tournament. I mean, because I really like South Carolina. I really like Texas. But I think Vanderbilt might have the best player.
Yeah, man.
LSU, you can never count out Kim Mulkey. Oklahoma with Beers and the freshmen. So this is going to be an exciting tournament.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that really haven't watched women's sports, specifically this women's basketball this year, like when you talk about Maddie Book, I promise you, Post, and you know I be talking my stuff and I say what I say, but Maddie Book looked like Kevin Durant in the game this year when I was watching her. She wears that 35 jersey. You know who wore the 35 in Texas?
Bro, that
Man,
is that's the female Kevin Durant, bro.
if you watch her, man, it's like I'm oohing and eyeing. I'm looking like, man, she's just getting better. I'm a big fan of Maddie Book. Um, I like her story. If you haven't, seen her story, how she made her choice as well and coming to Texas and choosing that, wanting to be that player to come to a school, knowing that at that time they was going through that, trying to figure it out. I like what she's done coming to Texas, making a name for herself, bringing this university back to that dominant way of playing basketball as she's been doing, as well as her teammates. So just a little thought for me, man. WTP, he said he went with Texas from a homer. Now, I'm going to come back at you post game since you asked about the championships. Who do you think? Who's your final four for women's basketball right now? Give me your final four.
Tough. That's tough, Moss. That's real tough.
Yeah.
As of right now, of course, I got to go UConn. Of course, I'm going South Carolina. I'm going Texas. And I'm going Notre Dame. I don't care.
Mm. Man, I'm going UConn. I'm going Texas. I'm going South Carolina. This like this fourth team is it's crazy because it really depends on where people go. I like your Notre Dame pick. We gonna pick one team that's different. I'm gonna go LSU.
I'm not mad at that.
Damn,
I'm not mad at
LSU,
that.
UConn, Texas, South Carolina, Notre Dame. That's a good five to win it. Like, were you picking five to win the championship? I think you might get another two, maybe three other teams, but I think that's what you'll really get right there is those teams. The WTP says there's going to be some bangers after the first round. I agree. This women's tournament is going to get dicey. I just man, it's good. It's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a good one. Anything? I'm just trying to run through everything that I had jotted down on my notes.
I got
Um,
one for you real quick
yes, sir.
because this is a tough one. Who are your starting five All American team, your first team All Americans in women's college basketball? I give you mine first. I'm going Sarah Strong from UConn. I'm going Audie Crooks. I'm going AZ Fudd from UConn. I'm going Michaela Blakes from Vanderbilt. And I'm going Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame.
Damn. Whew. So it's because I'm like, damn, dog, I gotta have a point guard. Strong for
I
Maddie Buck.
wish. Okay.
Um, I'm going Maddie Bucks for Strong. Uh, what's the girl's name from Michigan? Is it Callaway?
I'm
Uh,
not. I'm not sure.
I don't know what it is about. Like she really, if you can remember what it was a game we had talked about. I think it was a Michigan and Vanderbilt game earlier this season. Michigan was down. She like single-handedly brought that Michigan team back. I think Vandy got them by 2 points or something like that. But oh man, this is tough, man. I'm gonna go Michigan. I'm gonna go with the I can't think of her name. I think it's Callaway Holloway for Michigan. And I like Blaze from Vanderbilt too. She's averaging 30 on the road, I believe, or at home. Who does that in college basketball? That means you going to put on the show every time you come on the floor at the crib. Not to mention what you're doing on the road. So that's what I'm going with. My five. I'm gonna relook it. Might stretch it out to have a point guard on there and take someone off, but that's what it looked like for me.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I mean, because I think that the positionless basketball is starting to be seen where you have a skill where you can dribble the ball regardless of your height, your size, as we seeing in Fudd and Strong, then Matty Book, Blakes, all these ladies we see are at a height that's not even point guard, and they still handle the ball and do it at a great job. And they have a bag to go with it. So I think it's just showing the skill of the women is getting better and better and better. We coming up on an hour as we have
Can I
sat
ask,
here,
can I
and
ask you
we
a question, bro?
we just rambling, man. You know, we talking about we here for the women. We haven't talked about the women. I really haven't seen a show outside of a women's podcast that's talked about women's sports. I might need to open my encyclopedia or book, but go ahead, post. We here.
You had a very good first team All American team, but can I ask you why you kept Hannah Hidalgo off that list? I'll just ask you,
I
bro.
don't want
I'm
them to
not
come
saying
at
you
me and
wrong.
start saying. I don't want them to start thinking I'm really a Notre Dame fan. That's it, man. You know they already think I'm a Notre Dame fan, man. So I really want to put her on there. I mean, her and a girl from Michigan. I really put both of them there together. Honestly, um, when it comes to All Americans on the women's side, I know we talk about what the men's as much as we talk about the men's and top picks and things like that, respectably. I don't know, man. This women's All American team might have to get stretched out a little longer, man, because it's a lot of women that need to get respect put on their name the way they playing in this year's college basketball season. The way it's been over the last few years, myself, I think also is just getting better and better. And with things going the way it should go, hopefully sooner than later, I think women's sports is going to be something that you watch every day. Like we sit and we wait for an NBA game to come on. I think this is what we're going to have with the women's sports very soon. Man, that's ooh, I like that. I don't know. Anything else that you had to say or you wanted to say when it comes to post?
No, that's pretty much it for me, man. I'm really excited about these college basketball conference tournaments. Of course, I'm rooting for the Irish. I would like to see how they fare in the ACC because they've been playing very well. Seems like they're clicking at the right time. So I'm excited about basketball.
Oh man, definitely, man. Same here. For me, man, I just want to say, man, shout out to all the women. And for Miss Lucia Harrius, rest in peace. I did forget. That's Mentor City's own post game. Let me give you something real quick on Miss Lucia Harris. 16-2, season one, freshman. They didn't qualify for the tournament. They doubled back sophomore year championship, 32-16 in the championship game. Junior year, 30-18 in the championship game. 28-0 during the season. That was back to back. And then you got a three-peat. She had 23-16. She averaged 31.2 during that span in them games in those championships. 25.9, 14.5 rebounds for her career. And she dropped the 58-point game. I just appreciate the women, man, who's blessing us with being able to come and give you this great show on a Sports Wednesday with all the history. And there's so much more, so many more great swimmers, great softball, track and field we didn't even get to tap into. I'm going to make sure that this month we appreciate you women respectably. So if it's you or if you are in the comments in the chat, if you come across this live, let us know. MossBurgh will be bringing you another episode of Women Wednesdays in sports next Wednesday. So make sure you tune in for another one because this is Women's National Month and we want to make sure that we don't forget about you because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able to be here and speak in any way. Women have given us life, and they continue to be moms and great guardians throughout the world. Would I be all for you, Post? Anything you want to say to anybody?
Now, I just want to say salute to the chat, salute to my brother Moss, salute to the whole team. We working.
Yes, sir, man. I second that. I piggyback that, man. And we appreciate you, Unc, and all that you do, man, in the comments, watching, bringing us here to be able to do what we do. And if you haven't tuned in, make sure you go like and subscribe. That's Post Game. He's on YouTube. Go check out Post Game on his YouTube page. He got massive Notre Dame on there, Hannah Hidalgo. But he don't just have that. He have great breakdowns, different talks about different sports and things that's been going on as well. I'm MossBurgh, Level Up Sports 10. You can find me on Facebook at JOE Moss. That's Joe Moss. You can find me on Instagram, Level Up Sports 10 as well. I'm on Twitter at Level Up Sports 10. You can find WTP at WTP for Life. You can find One Take Zay, Parlay Pro of Blitzburg, SEC Sean, and City League TV. He's live right now, I believe, finishing up not too long ago from that Afrocentric game. But it's Women's Sports Wednesday, but we got to get out of here because I got to get to some of these games, but I definitely got to get to getting that much needed relaxation and planning some things for next week's show. But as always, we appreciate y'all tuning in. And now we are out of the building. Peace.